As it stands right now, the end of Nigeria don't reach. Finally, I beg, pay attention. You no need to skip this video. This video is very, very important to everyone, and you need to share it. Is a must share. It's very, very important. Why many people they talk about the 2027 election and how they go take win election, the City Boys movement, they no say Nigeria don't come to an end. A book was written by a Nigerian lawyer and have already been passed and have already been approved how Nigeria go take end and which is going on right now, what is happening within in right for book now, within they go on presently right now. Everything is not all about prophecy. Many people are gifted to they see waiting they go on. Many people they gifted on that, and everything we in right now waiting they happen exactly. I go want make you just pay attention. Listen and watch for yourself and listen to how Nigeria go take end and waiting they go on right now. Nigeria lawyer don't push that message and it's not clear to everyone that true waiting this man talk na truth. And from waiting and listening and how I take pay attention, I believe say the time don't come for Nigeria to end. And this is one of the reasons the US movement don't make it clear to everyone. And with this attack where US go attack the Iran, don't make everyone declare, say look at what won't go on. I go play the full video, make you watch from the starting to the ending. Share this video to everyone on every social media platform so that they go see what they go on and how it's coming to an end, and drop your opinion at the comment section. This video is very, very important to everyone to watch. It's very, very important more than other videos. So watch this video, share this video to everyone on every social media platform. Don't forget to click the subscribe button for more updates. Share this video, not the only one I will take encourage support us.
Beginning of the end. And you tend to make that point in all your books, that we are approaching the end. Is the end a revolution?
Look, whether Nigerians run away from it from now till kingdom come, the reality is that in the absence of a revolution, Nigeria will implode. It is inevitable. It's just a matter of time. When the rolling stone keep rolling, at some point it will come to a stop. Every rolling stone gathers more than stop. The Nigerian situation is unsustainable. The point of implosion or revolution is in front of us.
In front?
He is right there in front. We're almost there.
Almost there.
Almost there. The last opportunity for a peaceful transition was in 2023 and is already lost. That's just the truth. The last opportunity for a peaceful transition of power was in 2023. It's lost.
But there was a peaceful transition
in
power.
No, that was what you saw was an hijack of power. The constitution was suspended in order to install the person in office today.
How do you mean?
Every rule that were meant to have been kept in the process leading up to the election, governing the election and the installation of the president, were observed more in breach than in observance. Yeah. From INEC, which compromised the entire electoral process, sabotaged his own effort, to the courts, who ignored clear rules and relied on technicalities in order to install a person in office. They killed that lie of Decree 24 of 1999. They killed it finally.
But technicality is law.
You see, technicality is law, yes. But technicalities do not promote justice and it does not build countries.
Are you saying Bola Tinubu did not win the 2023 election?
I said that without any hesitation. He knows it.
Who won?
Yakubu knows it. You see, if I will answer that question, it will be subjective. And the subjective answer will be Peter Obi. I worked on that campaign and I know as a fact that he won the majority vote and the highest number of states. But you have a situation today, and that is the tragedy of Nigeria.
How did you arrive at that?
I'm coming there. You have a situation today, and that's the actual tragedy of Nigeria, where INEC cannot tell you how it arrived at announcing Bola Ahmed Tinubu as the president of Nigeria. It can't give you any result to back up his declaration. What I have said to you comes out of the situation room, the presidential election situation room, of which I was a part. We had reports that came in from different states. And I know enough to know that even though he didn't make enough to have won on the first ballot, he won more states than any other person. I think he won in a total of 21 or 22 states.
Obi?
Yes.
From your situation?
Yes.
Room,
even the PDPs, INEC does not have any portal to show you. Is it the portal where they are uploading all kind of madness? Or is it the ones where you can't even read the Form EC8A that they have TPEX and overwritten, all kind of, even that script, why could not collect that script from a student? That's what INEC is using, and it cannot even intelligently collate to say 2 plus 2, this is how we arrived at our 4. Election the result was being declared in the middle of the night, and then you heard the crooked Mahmoud saying without shame, go to court. When you hear a thief inviting you to go to court, you can be sure that his father or his co-accomplice is the one waiting for you in that court.
But you should be happy to go to court. That's why you are a lawyer.
Even in the years of my practice, and don't libel me, I'm not a lawyer. I left that ignoble profession when I turned 50.
No, you read law.
I read law.
You went to law school.
Yes.
And you resigned from practice.
Voluntarily, long before I even was called to the bar, I made clear that when I turned 50, I was leaving.
So you resigned from practice?
Completely.
So does that mean you're no longer a lawyer?
I am not a lawyer in practice. I read law.
Mm-hmm.
I have all the qualifications to be a lawyer. But today, as I speak with you, I do not have the right of audience in a court because I'm not licensed. I've not paid my practicing fee. I refuse to pay it. If I've not paid my practicing fee, how do I go in front of a judge and announce my appearance? Do you get it now? I read law. That I read Christian religious knowledge does not make me a pastor. I read law. I sleep in a garage. I don't become a car. So I read law and I practiced as a lawyer for a season. Without prejudice to the state of practice of law in Nigeria, because it didn't become like this overnight. It was like this before I became a lawyer. It just wasn't perhaps this endemic, but the madness was always here. So it's not like I'm saying that it's because things got bad that I now left the practice of law. As romantic as that would sound, it would be a lie. I had said to everybody's hearing since I was in the university that once I turned 50, I was going to go do something else with my life.
Do you know who you are?
Oh, yes. I know exactly who I am.
Why did you run for the position of Student Union President at LASU?
There was a need at the time. There was a need.
What were the needs?
I was a critic for a long time in LASU, pretty much like this one now. I spoke to the hills of the environment I found myself in, and nothing changed.
Were you punished at any time?
By who?
In LASU?
Oh, I did things that deserved punishment.
But they let you go?
Oh, the university rusticated me for a semester when I was reading English language and linguistics. But by the time I was reading law, I had become a model student who wouldn't even look for any trouble. As a student union president, I had the cooperation of students and even the university administration. I never had any problem with the university administration. Every issue we had, we resolved with dialogue.
You were calm?
I've always been calm. I still am.
Are you still calm?
Oh, very, very.
You are angry?
I'm a creature of reason. I may be angry, and there is every reason to be angry with the madness of our country. But in being angry, I never lose my head. I use my anger productively. I am at my most lucid when I'm angry.
You know, in my quiet time, I say, who is he? What drives him? Where is he from? Who is his mother? What is his upbringing like? How is your grandmother?
Oh, she's late now. May God rest her soul. She shaped me.
She shaped you?
Yeah.
How?
I grew up with her. I must have been a little under 2 years old when I was handed to my grandmother because my mother relocated to the US. So she molded me, and I was living with her until I was almost 10 years old when my mother returned to Nigeria.
What kind of hand did she use to mold you?
You had to be familiar with old Yoruba society to have a clear understanding of the way I was raised. I am what you call Omo Dragba. The errand, somebody who is sent around by the aged. My grandmother was close to 70 by the time I was given to her. And I would always be found sat between her legs. She was the first of 4 wives. And I would be sat between her legs, watching everything happening around me.
In Ibadan?
Yeah, right there at Inolinde. And by the time I was about 6, 7 years old, I was already a master craftsman when it came to Ayo Olokon. So you can imagine a little rat sat amongst old people, my grandfather, his friends, the other wives. I was always in the middle of very old people, and it was fun growing up. You can see that I'm smiling, recalling experiences. So it was a beautiful time.
You listened to a lot of words of wisdom?
The old have a way of editing everything they say with wisdom. Let's just say that I didn't listen to mundane conversations. I had no choice but to elevate.
Your grandmother deepened your mind?
I had to find a way to cope with the level of wisdom that I had to live with. Yoruba proverbs, for instance, are some of the deepest scriptures you're ever going to hear. And I had people dropping scriptures everywhere around me. And they were, old people tend to be more patient with children. They wouldn't shut me down when I asked questions. If a kid came running to you and is asking questions, most likely you would have some other worries of life that you want to pursue that will make sure that you gave very little time to that child. But I had people who were already done with work. They had a slower pace of life. They could tell war stories. The old lost talking. So imagine when I had like 6 old people in their 70s all around me, and they all loved talking. And my grandmother did a fantastic job of ensuring that I never aspired to play football like other children my age, because every cripple in Ibadan, according to her, played football. So I learned very early not to go near the football field. So I was either reading something or the other, or I was listening to them or playing Ayo with them. So that was my earliest school. Sat with my grandparents, playing with them, listening to their conversations, asking questions of them, being instructed by them. They are much calmer and they had time for me.
Were you brought up by the community?
In my generation, we were all raised by the community. In my generation, they didn't need to know who you were. They just needed to know your parents. They didn't even need to know your parents. If you're doing something that you shouldn't do and there's an adult around, they'll set you straight. If what you've done was so gruesome, they will march you to your parents' home to report you after they'd beaten you. When they get to your house, after reporting you, they will be the ones informing your people, we've beaten him already. Do you understand? So that you will not get another round of beating. But I guarantee you that in my generation, it wouldn't save you from another round of beating. Because that lesson that you were taught outside will be emphasized and underlined. Because they will consider it a disgrace that somebody from outside had to bring you to report you. So you've disgraced your homestead. A name counted for something back then. Names counted. They will ask you, that's what house are you from? When they ask house, what they are asking is your lineage.
You are sounding like an ancestor now.
Oh, well, I grew up with ancestors.
But you are just 57.
I'll be 58 in a few months. Or maybe I should say weeks.
But the way you are saying in those days, those times.
Let me just say that I was already an old man before I came out of my teenage years.
Old man?
Before I came out of my teenage years.
You said Mami Mariam Ige Olukole, the grandmother that was my mother.
Yeah.
May we be gathered together when I sleep, as is the way of all mortals.
It's just the way it is.
You want to sleep?
Who wouldn't?
You already talking about it?
My brother, the sooner you become comfortable with the idea of your mortality, the quicker you lose your fear of men and of death. I am completely comfortable with the idea of my mortality.
Comfortable?
Completely comfortable. It's inevitable. You can't escape it. If you have time, go back into Do Not Die in the Hour. There is a chapter there which will help you understand the way I view death. It's the one I titled The Day I Died. I recounted an experience there, and that was the day I was cured of all fears. It's that simple. The only thing that is certain is our mortality. Would I be rich? Would I be tall? Whatever you be, will be. But that one that you will die is certain, guaranteed. I will sleep one day, as will every other person who lives. Is the way of all mortals. It's just the way it is. And the more you demystify it, the better for both yourself and the persons in your space. Because they too learn to de-emphasize it and focus on living instead of fearing to die.
You said this book is dedicated to the 3 women that had been handed my custody at critical stages of my life and that have loved me in spite of my several imperfections and picadillos.
Yeah. I'm not a good man. I'm not. I'm an acquired taste. I can understand my mother loving me. She was wired to. After all, I left my DNA in her when I was in her womb. So in spite of herself, she's programmed to love me. I am grateful for my grandmother's love, but she was equally at some level inclined to already love me without qualifications. But the wife I married, that I'm probably the largest cross that poor woman carries, but she's been very gracious. So I'm very grateful to God for the gift of the women that he has blessed me with. I'm truly blessed. Truly blessed.
Ulufumilola.
Yeah.
Ulufumilayo.
Yes.
The one that allows me to be me.
Yeah.
My facilitator and co-conspirator. I am blessed to be loved by you. And I know that you have loved me more than me. I know that you have loved me more than me.
It's just the truth. When a person takes you the way they find you, when they do not seek to make you into the person they have in their head, but are willing to accept you as you are, what and all. And I'm a deeply flawed man, but I still find a woman who does not judge me based on my imperfections, interpret each and every one of my many insanities from the eyes of love. She'll rationalize everything, make excuses for my failings.
Yeah. Are you a man of steel?
I don't know about steel.
Have you ever fallen in love?
In love?
Yeah.
Of course, I'm in love with my wife. I am in love with my wife. I love life.
Do strong men fall in love?
You see, there is this error that a lot of men make. They think it weakens them to admit to loving. It doesn't. What's the use of life that is lived in the absence of love? If you don't love someone, what are you living for? What are the things that motivate you? What underpins your actions? I love my wife. I love my children. I love life. I love me. I love my country, as imperfect as it is. I love the people in there.
You love Nigeria?
Oh, yes, I do. The possibilities of Nigeria. I don't love what I'm seeing right now, but I love what I know is possible with Nigeria. Nigeria is a blessed country. It has everything that pertains to good life. It is those who have managed it that have ruined it. What's not to love about Nigeria?
When you die, where will you be?
Only God knows where we are going, but what I do know is that whilst I'm here, I will do everything and anything I can to make life better for those I will leave behind.
You believe in God?
Oh, yes, I do.
Which God?
You see, he hasn't told me his name. I met him as Jesus Christ. He was introduced to me as that. Nobody asked what religion I wanted to belong to, but I was born in a Christian home. I was raised in one. I was introduced to the church very early. I only ever learned how to pray to God through Jesus Christ our Lord. But I am also mindful of the fact that he has manifested in multiple ways to multiple persons, and I don't have a monopoly of how to get to him. My mind is open enough on that. I don't presume to know exactly who he is. All I know is every time I've ever prayed, I've only ever prayed in the name of Jesus Christ. And he has not, because I used the name of Jesus Christ, not answered me. But he has never told me that somebody else who is worshiping him in another name is deaf to that person. He didn't tell me that. I know that as imperfect as I am, he hears me. He instructs me. And he has never told me that there is someone he doesn't listen to.
You pray?
Oh, yes, I do.
How do you pray?
When I remember, maybe I'm on the way to some place and I get instruction. I just feel the urge in my heart to say a prayer. I say the prayer I might not spend more than 1 minute. It might even be me doing the Pentiraska thing and doing shumi, shama, shumi, and all of that. But I do know that God sees my heart.
When Afebe Balola was taking you to prison, did you pray?
I had no need to pray. You see, when people are praying in an episodic fashion, something is happening, so they are praying about it. That one is happening, they are praying against it. They are wasting their time. I had full conviction in my spirit that I was on the right path. There was no prayer to be said. If you read the book right there in the foreword, I already said that I expected reactions. I fully expected reactions. There was nothing they did that surprised me.
You mentioned your children's name here.
Yes.
And you said, I do what I do because of you. I do not want to see you become refugees in another man's land. And I do not want to see you live through unending wars. What are you saying, Mr. Farutimi? Which wars?
Let me say this. The human spirit rebels instinctively and reflexively against injustice. You can never sustain an unjust situation perpetually. At some point, every victim of injustice will rebel. When you now have a country of over 200 million people, according to the estimates, because our country is now so useless that we can't even have a census. So estimated figures are what we are using in counting human beings.
The way we use estimated billion.
For everything. So you have over 200 million Nigerians. And amongst these 200 million Nigerians that you have, in fact, let me just say, whatever is over the 200 million are the ones enjoying. But you have 200 millions who are actually oppressed. Out of that 200 million, you have 130 million who are living below the poverty line. Poverty line is $3 a day. $3 a day is under 5,000 naira. That is the totality of what over 130 million Nigerians are having to survive with. Less than that. So the other ones, those ones have more than 5,000 naira. So, but 130 million of your 200 million do not have up to 5 naira.
Poor people, right?
A day. They don't have 5 naira a day for their food, clothing, medication, transportation, housing, because that's the totality of their existence. 5,000 naira.
Is that why they worship
They
their
have no
oppressors?
choice. Yorubas will say that rationality ends where hunger begins.
So make them hungry.
Make them hungry and they become susceptible to all kind of machination.
Destroy their education system.
That's the slogan in Ondo State. It began during the reign of an SAN. Dibo Sebe, 5,000 naira per vote. That was what it was in Ondo State, where it started. Stomach infrastructure began in what was the richest province in Western Nigeria, in Ekiti. Ekiti was the richest province in Western Nigeria during the reign of Obafemi Awolowo. But it's today that state is one of the most impoverished. It's systemic.
Destroy their hospital, let them die.
Destroy everything. Kill them. We are being ruled by strangers. They are not touched by the afflictions of their people.
You have called them foolish warriors.
The foolish warriors are usually the ones who begin to fight on behalf of their oppressors. They take on the battle for if I went out there today and I said, oh, Tinubu has destroyed this country, you will find at least 10 sufferers who haven't even eaten breakfast today. They will come out and fight on his behalf.
They love him.
They don't.
So why do they fight for him?
They have no love for themselves.
They've lost their minds.
They are self-hating.
You said we the foolish warriors.
But that's what we are, aren't we?
You call them the ruining class.
Think about it. A person is charged with ruling a country and he proceeds to ruin the country instead of ruling it. Why would I call a ruinous person a ruler? He's a ruiner. So instead of a ruling class, you have a ruining class. They ruin.
You said the Nigerian middle class, or its middling class.
It's a middling class.
As I have sometimes been forced to label it, is the most foolish and willfully ignorant of the different layers of the Nigerian peoples.
Think about it. In every other country of the world, the middle class is the engine room for development. It is the class that thinks, comes up with ideas, is the engine room for growth, is the closest to the lower middle class and the lower classes. Those are the ones that should be the foot soldiers for development. Ideas should be incubated in the middle class. But what you have today in Nigeria is that the middle class has disappeared. It's been decimated. Whatever was left of the middle class that was developed during the Obasanjo years have been decimated progressively since 2020. It started with Buhari's coming in 2015, but it accelerated exponentially during the COVID years. That was when that class began to face concerted attack. Today in Nigeria, if you are not a member of the Nigerian ruining class, or if you are not working in one of the complicit industries like banking, you can't afford to buy a new car. You can't, unless you're going to go and buy one of the cheaper Chinese variants that are coming out. When Obasanjo was there, during the Jonathan years, people were able to aspire. There was upward trajectory. People were migrating class-wise because opportunities existed.
My people, we soon I need to talk about this end of Nigeria, because it's very, very clear to everyone that everybody is tired. Both the Yoruba, both the Hausa, both the Igbo, everybody done they tired. So everybody is waiting for that one man that will break and give peace to all the whole tribe. That's what everyone is waiting. And who will be that? And who will bear the cat? So what do you think about the opinion we'll be saying don't share, and the book will be saying right? And do you see this as a reality of what is about to happen? Because me, I see it as something will go happen. So everything's not all about prophecy. Everything will be say, they say. There are so many people who get 4 eye will be say we see the future and how the thing they go. If you look at how things they play out, you go feel no say if you predict what can happen in the next future. That's how most times prophecy is being generated. So I no go just talk much. What do you think? I go allow una make una share una thought on the comment section, and don't forget to click the subscribe button, and don't forget to drop your opinion at the comment section. Your opinion is really in depth. Click the subscribe button for more updates and share this video. Now the only one I feel take encourage support us. Thank you, my lovely people.